sir. They're just shut
Ladies
down.
and gentlemen, welcome to the live broadcast here at Tarnation TV. Tonight's race, the High Voltage Racing League. We are heading to Richmond, a 0.75 mile long track. Should be good. We got a lot of people in here tonight, a lot of drivers. We're showing 33 on the track right now in the practice session. And some crazy fast times, so it should be a lot of fun. My name is Blaine, joined by Rod Weston. Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. And flat track, one of my favorites. Actually, I like this track. It's a pretty good track. I raced on flat tracks all my life, and so I've always kind of liked them. And you see a lot more side-by-side racing at these tracks, and you got to get off the corner good. Tight too. The front stretch is a lot more room. The back stretch shortens up, so it should be a pretty good race.
There's a lot of different versions of this track. I know BBMC made one, and super high quality one. This is been rebranded a little bit to fit the Maverick Racing, the Maverick Cup Series, but it's always a fun track, and at its core, it's the same thing, just visually it might look different. Lots of different versions of this track floating around. The cameras, we had to adjust the cameras. I didn't like the way they looked, so they look much better now, so we can actually see what's going on. But yeah, and as far as last week's broadcast, anybody who tuned into that thing, I was having major internet issues, and the whole thing just burned to the ground after the checkered flag came out, which was pretty crazy how it held on until about a minute after the checkered flag came out. And then the whole thing just went down for about 3 hours. It came back up early morning. But Jack Merkel did end up winning that race. That was the point of that story. So, yeah, congratulations to Jack. And, of course, the week before that, it was Keith Hughes. And this is race number 3. So, yeah, thanks again for watching. It should be a fun night tonight.
Yeah, Keith is back tonight. He wasn't with us the last race there, but we had 2 weeks ago. And there's quite a few new drivers tonight, so we'll be messing up a few of those names. So trying to get used to them. A few different drivers and a few different paint schemes. But there are some really nice-looking cars out there tonight. I don't know yet. Ben's going to give me that information of how many cars that we do have of each make, model, and who made the show. So I think everybody did pretty much make the show. Like you said, there was only 33 drivers. So he's going to give me the make of models. We do have a driver tonight from Mexico. I guess that's the first time they've had a Mexican driver in the field. And two drivers tonight from Canada, up there with y'all are. Had to say it that way. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Oh, go for it.
But, yeah, it should be a good race. Like I said, I'm a big fan of this track, so.
Yeah, you're a fan of the shorter tracks. It's like we've had this discussion before. You and super speedways are just like, they're boring. But you really need to know what you're doing when it comes to these little tracks. You know, the ones that are kind of like 1.5 and under, 1.5 miles and under. You really need to know how to get through those turns properly. Don't wash up and slam the wall. They run moderate damage here. So, I mean, a couple of good knocks, it probably won't be too bad. But your car does take a beating especially tonight because we're running 120 miles here tonight. You come up and swat that wall every other lap, you're not going to have much left.
Yeah, and the thing that the key here really is doing what they call trail braking, and not everybody does it, and some people are going to be fast at it, but it's more basically kind of going into the corner, start on the brake, but don't let off that gas, and using the combination of that brake and the gas to actually settle the back of the car. Because if you snap off the gas too much and no brake, it has a tendency to sideways. So this kind of keeps the back end of the car in there with you. And if you can make that work, you can be really quick. Now, doesn't save a lot of fuel, so it's not a fuel-saving mode way of doing things, but it is definitely a better way to get speed.
Yeah, dumping the throttle completely off, you're taking all the power out of the wheels, and it upsets the car. So like you said, to keep your foot in the throttle a little bit and just kind of drag that brake. It's amazing how well it works, even in a game that was made in 2003, NASCAR Racing 2003 season. It was designed as a simulator, and all that stuff works. And it's a ton of fun once you figure it out, especially here at Richmond, because this is going to be, How many, do we have a fuel window, a pit strategy? Is this thing going to chew tires? I'm not exactly sure how they've got this track set up tonight.
Yeah, I didn't get the chance to get out there on the track. I was trying to get everything squared away, but I do know they can get approximately about 66 laps on the tank of fuel. Now, mind you, that's going to change a little bit. You know, if you have how you drive, as I just said, you know, doing the trail braking things can take a little bit more of away from that. As far as the grip goes, I don't believe that this is pretty much probably going to be your standard Richmond. Now, you can, if you can be a little brave, you can run the outside here for a little bit, and you might be able to make an advantage of it if you can catch the guy just right coming off the corner, but you're not going to live long out there. Tire wear, Richmond is really kind of famous for it's not like Darlington. It's not going to be like Darlington or the Rockwood that really, really wears tires off, but they are going to wear quicker. And this track is also noted for getting loose as the longer the run goes.
So that would depend on the setup, though, right? You could have a setup that tightens up.
You could, but I mean, if you have a setup now that's probably a little tight, it's going to get a little bit looser as it goes along. Obviously, if you have a setup that's a little bit too loose, it's really going to get loose at the end of it. But the track is really famous for kind of loosening up as it goes along. The setup can change that, absolutely, but it's just the way my experience with it. You always kind of start losing the rear tires before you do the front, unless you drive too hard.
Right. Yeah. I've seen it happen so many different ways too. You think it'd be the same at every track, but it's not. It really does depend on the style of track. And like next week, we're going to Dover, and then we're going to Talladega. And then after that, we're at Sonoma, which is a road course, as you can see from the schedule we have on the screen right there. So this, we're running a completely different tracks every week, which is why this high voltage racing league here, the Maverick Cup Series, is so cool. There's a lot of variety.
And they are finished with qualifying, and we have, I think it's Anthony McCurry, may have Andy McCurry or something like that. I'm waiting for everything to kind of catch up. On the pole tonight, Jack Merkel, the last week's winner, outside pole.
I saw the times in practice. Merkel actually in practice had a 21.609. And then...
that's pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, so that's... again, how long are your tires going to last? I wouldn't know if you're driving that fast. I would assume you're setting times like that in practice because it's just go, do whatever you want. Come race time, 160 laps is a long way, so I can see these guys will just kind of lock into a mode and they'll just kind of hit their marks and see if they can make it there. Yellow flags will be run by the moderators, so that'll be up to them when caution flags come out if we need them.
You'll see some of the guys during practice if you watch a little bit. The guys that go out there and they're just trying to set a fast lap. Those are the guys that are just trying to see and get themselves prepared for their qualifying runs. Then you've got guys that are going to go out there that'll do a full fuel run just to see, can I go the distance on this set of tires, or am I going to, it all depends. I've never been one of those drivers that did that. As I've always told everybody, if I practiced all week to do one race on a Tuesday, I wouldn't be able to race because my arms would be killing me.
Yeah. Have you ever done, how much offline racing have you used this thing for?
Well, I don't really do much offline racing with this. It's pretty much all online. Yeah. We do have one fun thing is in a league that I ran at, they knew that I had raced at Lee Speedway, which is a track that's in New Hampshire, which is a neighboring state to Vermont. And so they kind of put the point out there, hey, we're running at Lee, you ought to come race there. And they did regret it after they asked me to do that, because I knew the track, so I went around pretty darn good. Ended up winning the race and walking away from them. But now that we've got everything kind of going here, like I said, Anthony McCurry's on the pole, Jack Merkel outside pole in the 2024. Trying to get the names correct so I don't say them wrong. Sante Gutierrez is in the 81, is in third. My buddy Keith Hughes, I kept calling him last week, but Hughes. Keith Hughes is in 4th. Alex Moe in the Lowell's 48, he is in 5th. Michael Norman in the 22 is going to start out the outsiders, 3rd row and 6th.
Yeah, I think you were looking for a Sandy Gutierrez.
Sandy Gutierrez. I do apologize to you guys. These names, some of these names are a little tricky to do. We get them wrong, but all you got to do is correct me, and we'll get it figured out.
When we were looking out there in practice, we had a guy running the 72. I believe it's Jorge Pachon. He's got my number, which is why I usually, when I'm broadcasting, I run 999 so I don't step on anybody's number. I usually run the 72. Obviously, in this league, I wouldn't be allowed to because Mr. Pachon has it. Buddy Campos, Ivan Hernandez, Rick Johnson, Jonathan Peavy, Jarrett Gravois, Randy Waugh, Josh Mercurio, Ulysses Sandoval, Michael Norman, Sandy Gutierrez, Carnby Edwards, Seth Cole, Tate Dorsey, Adam Cole, Fran Gomez, Jack Merkel, Trey Kinsey, Anthony McCurry, Dylan Young, Austin LaPlante, RJ Bishop, Jackson Brown, Matt McIntyre, probably missing a couple, RJ Bishop, Dalton Reed, Steph Thomas, Mark Snyder, Joseph Landy Pavlon, also known as JLP, and then Matthias Yankee. Yeah, we got a full, I'm seeing 41 people connected to the server today, so that's minus you and I. Yep. 39 or so drivers.
Very cool. And then you got the old consummate professional out there, Seth Cole in the 93. Come see me and Seth Cole and Blaine doing the LAS broadcast this Saturday. Last time it was just supposed to be being Seth, and Blaine just couldn't keep quiet. He had to talk too much. But that was all right. He's going to be in the producer's booth this week. Me and Seth will be doing it. We have a great time doing it with Seth Cole. Yeah, I always say consummate professional, a great broadcaster. I learn more and more every time I broadcast with him.
Yeah, it's such a massive race that I'll definitely still be on mic if I can, but it's a little bit easier for me to look away. Oh yeah,
you'll be talking. You can't help yourself.
No, I'm always going to do it, but it's easier for me to, if I need to focus elsewhere, I won't be able to listen to the conversation, and then you just kind of like, duh.
Yeah,
that won't happen.
He'll be focused on one car, and we'll be talking about 4 others.
Exactly, and then or I'm looking off screen, looking in a text. I'm I'm responding to YouTube comments or whatever. So it's one of those things where it's easier for me to just be able to look away, and you guys can cover me.
Everybody's getting ready to get lined up, get down there, and then get in their cars. And we're going to get ready to go green flag racing here pretty soon. 160 laps at Richmond.
Well, we have a special Grand Marshal again this week.
Buddy, fired up here. Remember, one switch at a time.
So we're going to hear right now from the Joe Network, one of their co-hosts, Alex Gordon. He's going to do the call for us tonight. So take it away, Mr. Gordon.
It's Maverick Night in America, baby. Drivers, start your engines.
Straight. He's going to be the lead guy. I'm just going to play off him. Ben Snyder was telling us a couple of guys that we probably ought to keep our eyes on. And one of them was Keith Hughes. The other one was the 18. You're pretty fast. Taking the green flag right now. Anthony McCurry was able to get out there and get that bottom groove going. And took the lead. Jack Merkel just had a little a little bit of hint. Yeah, shouldn't have said it. Anthony McCurry got away from that one really, really good. But then I was just getting ready to talk about Jack Burkle, and then I see that he was headed the wrong direction. Santa Gutierrez was a benefit of that. He was able to get out there and come back out and be in the second position. Jock Mercurio is in third right now. Trey Kingsley in the 18. I'm going to guess that Trey Kingsley is a Kyle Busch fan. He's driving a Toyota. So I think you're going to have a little bit of tire wear, and this is why I say that, is Trey Kingsley was just on the front stretch driving through the grass, cooling his tires down this early in the run.
Nice. I've turned my microphone back on for anybody who's wondering why Rod's been talking to himself for the past 40 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
We were just watching Merkel go around there. Hughes got underneath him, running a little bit too hard there on lap 1. Both of those guys just waited for the pack to go by before they rejoined. Trying to get back in line, it can cause more problems. It's best just to, when you start to go around, slam on the brakes and wait for the pack to go around. Watch Merkel come out of the pits here back in 36th position at the stripe.
I tell you, another guy that I would probably keep my eye on. He's currently back there in the 6th position. That's Alex Moe. There's not too many tracks that Alex Moe is not really good at. You know, if you get him at Michigan, it's really, really hard to beat.
He's unbeatable at Michigan. Every time I've ever seen him run that track, or maybe even a track similar, that's a tough one.
Very tough. He's a talent. Give him that. He's a very talented driver. Now, he doesn't win every time. Some tracks that some people just don't grasp a hold of. But
get ready to go green here. Yeah, I mean, Alex, he's not a sleeper because we know that he can win, but he's kind of a sleeper in the first 3/4 of a race.
Yes.
You won't really see him much. He's just kind of in a spot. He's not doing anything too aggressive. He just sort of sits there and does his thing. And then he starts pushing. And then he's just there.
Yep. Anthony McCurry got a good run again. Josh Mercurio just right behind him in that Cadillac, pink and dark blue kind of Cadillac.
Yellow flag.
By the inside line kind of went where the outside line really didn't go that well. Oh, and a caution that is out again, I assume. Yep. I was busy watching the front guys.
We will rewind and see what happened.
Trying to get a look at PD's car. I know you're doing your thing, but I was just trying to get a look at his car because that thing looks pretty different. Not a lot to it, but it's very subtle, but it's actually cool. You can find that later.
It looks like the 30, maybe not the 36. The 36 went off the track.
So now that the Trey is down there doing this thing in the grass, he's actually headed the wrong direction.
Oh, we've got a couple cars on their side. Okay, we found it, I think. This would probably be a reason for caution. Looks like it's up here around the 98 of Carnby Edward gets tapped there. Who's that? By McIntyre. Yeah, he drifted up the track. McIntyre checked up just not enough.
That's one of the hardest things.
That causes a crazy bottleneck right there. There's nowhere for anybody to go. Unless you were like a ghost. Oh. Yeah. We're running in slow motion here. It's just easier for me to lock onto these cars. Catastrophe, to say the least.
Yeah. That's the one thing about Richmond is so many people have different break points and such. So
It is,
when
yeah.
you do, the guy that is an early breaker and a guy that's a late breaker, those are the kind of things that are going to happen.
Yeah,
Worst
some
part
guys
about it
just want to go for it, and some guys
Yep.
want to, take the time, maybe save some of their stuff. So you got all these different, like you said, different lines, different break points. And we're still on cold tires. We haven't got these things warmed up.
Getting ready to go back green again with Anthony McCurry on the pole.
I forget,
McCurry on the outside.
With the custom executable they're using on the server side of this, they can control these cautions. We get back to green real quick. We've almost been 3 wide a couple times and locked on here to Jonathan Peavy right now in that number 2. Restarted in 5th.
Trey Kingsley tried to get down under Josh Mercurio, but he could not quite do it. Ended up getting himself stuck on the high side there, and he's kind of going backwards a little bit, not too bad. Tags the fence a little bit going into 1, gets himself a little bit of trouble.
18 Trey Kingsley, he's doing the drift up the track there. Looks like he collected it.
Yeah, he did. He collected it, kept it going.
Yellow flag. Let's see if we can find the point of caution.
Benjamin Snyder's back in the 28th position in his Kia. Purple Kia. Sharp looking rig.
Looking for some smoke. See if we can figure out what happened here. I don't see anything. I see the yellow flag is up.
Wonder if it was for the incident with Trey Kingsley.
Yeah. Just currently floating around here looking for an issue.
Notice one thing,
Campos on the pit lane, Buddy Campos.
I don't think too many of your front runners are doing much for pitting right now.
Yeah, I think they're opting for track position. Could not find a reason for that caution, as I am a highly trained broadcasting professional.
So, Trey Kingsley did go into the pits and take tires. Probably repaired a little bit of that damage too, because he did smack the fence pretty good there.
YouTube chatter there. Just let everybody know from last week that my internet provider, because of the crazy weather we were having up here, ice storms and stuff, knocked out the internet in the area. And of course, there's my buddy Jack. I don't know, Tarnation. We had some pretty nasty flurries out here today. They out of nowhere, we just get winter again for just a little bit. Hey, Tarnation TV, don't forget race fans to tune into Tarnation TV on Sunday, April 27th for the 5th annual Cannon Hinnant Memorial and Gun Violence Race. April 12th will be the Team Elmo ALS Foundation race as well.
Getting ready to go back green. Curry still out front. Josh Curry on the outside. Michael Norman out to low.
Avery's channel is right. Avery says, we've had 3 cautions in 10 laps. You are correct. Nate Balser says, Blaine and Rod, best in the business, watching, have a great show and race. Nate, how you feeling, buddy? Anybody who follows Nate Balser. Had some hiccups last week, but I think he's back home now, so that's good to see.
Oh, that's awesome. One around. I think it's in turn 4. Saw the 45 around.
Yeah, green is still up.
It could be in a caution cooldown period. And I'm familiar with that.
I forget about that, yeah. Is
I'm
it
familiar
3?
with that. I think it's if they have three in a row, they go to a few laps where they just don't pull them and let them just go racing and let them kind of cool down a little bit.
I can shut my mic off and eat chips. Are you jealous?
Nope. Anthony Carey is still out front, but we got a new second place car tonight there. Alex Moe.
Yeah,
I was going to say
yeah.
Joshua Mercurio, but yeah, Alex Moe into the second spot. A little bit early for him to probably making a move, but I think probably just had an opportunity and figured that, yeah, now he's taking the lead away from Anthony Mercurio. So he told you he was going to be up there sometime. A little early for Alex to be doing it, but I think he just finally figured it's time to pull the trigger, get out front, start setting the pace for these guys.
No, he can make that thing stick to that yellow line. You might as well go for it, especially now they run a couple of laps. The tires get some heat in there. They'll stick a little bit better.
Yeah, they just passed lap car 52.
Keith Bynum in the chat as well there. Hello, everyone. Keith Bynum here. What's up, Keith? And Nate says he's doing okay. One day at a time, getting better each day. Thanks, Blaine Rod. Cheers.
Very nice. I'm glad to hear you're getting
better.
better.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for popping in here, guys. Keith and Nate and Jack and Avery and Brian and Guillermo Sanchez. And the 55 other people that haven't commented on the YouTube channel yet. To the first place position, we got Alex Moe. We literally start reading YouTube texts, and Alex has taken first now. Creeping up on lap traffic, we can see Mark Snyder there in the yellow 27.
And Benjamin Snyder up there, too. I was going to say that it was getting to the point where he was going to start running into lap traffic. It looks like Anthony McCurry just took over the lead at the line. It was kind of a lap car situation, and Alex Moe had kind of slowed down a little bit, and Anthony went underneath him.
Yeah. Well, it was a little bit of parking lot back there. I saw a couple cars down the apron, so I think guys are just kind of checking up, trying to figure out where to go. So
yeah, I think that's what happened is Alex kind of checked up, and Anthony kept going, but he also beat him to the line before the caution actually came out, so gives him back the lead. See, Benjamin Snyder is right there behind him, so he should be the lucky dog.
Now, do you still get to be the lucky dog if you pit?
They normally do it. I forget on this one how they do it, but a lot of the other ones is when you're a lucky dog, you get to pit, which you usually do it the second time by. And depending on the league, some leagues will put and let you drive past the leaders and go back around to the back of the field. In other leagues, they will actually give them a lap back. So they basically are required to go through the pits the second time by, speed, or take full service. Like I said, different leagues do different things, which puts them to the back of the pack, and then they just give them a lap back.
So let's see. Mercury in first. On to pits here. Moe's in second. Let's see the race off pit road here.
Most of the front rows, they're in on pits on lap 24. And that could go much more on fuel, and they probably could do all right. But you start figuring, any change in tires is going to make a big difference when you're pretty close to halfway through a run. So it makes sense to come in and take tires now.
Yep, and in and out the same way they came down. So we'll just take a gander through the field here at some of these cars we're on the track here. We got Seth Cole. We're looking at him right now. We'll do a quick flip through the field here. Randy Waugh in the 21. Some guy driving a Dodge Charger. That's the pace car. Keith Hughes in the 82. Tate Dorsey in the 6. Yankee, what's his first name? Matthias Yankee in the 31.
Yeah, just looking at that. That's a sharp car.
Oh, are we getting green? Are we going? I forget about this.
we're going to go back green this time.
Yeah, we got really. I just noticed the pace car has the lights off, so.
So Anthony McCurry came out in the 6th position. Alex Moe is right in 7th behind him, but Alex is on the bottom side. But you've got, 5 cars in front of you that are on older tires. Some of these guys I might have pitted earlier too, but they're still on older tires. And we're back green. Keith Hughes is out there on the front. Seth Cole is on the outside.
Seth Cole actually got credit for leading that lap.
I think he just beat him to the line.
That might be a black flag. We'll have to
on the
clear
outside.
up.
If on the outside,
Right.
as long as the green came out and he was not ahead when the green came out, he can beat him to the line and get credit for it.
So we got the bonus points. Seth's got 2 laps led.
Ooh. Anthony McCurry was trying to go on the outside of the 31 Yankee there, and they had just a slight contact. Nothing that it just got close. It sent Anthony McCurry up the track just a little bit, lost a little momentum.
Caused a bit of a bottleneck back here.
Yeah. Alex Moe was able to get himself up into the 5th position. Now, remember, he's on fresher tires. You ain't going to see him just because he's on fresher tires. You're not going to see Alex Moe just start trying to charge right through and push people out of the way. He knows he's going to got better tires. He knows he's going to be ahead of them eventually. But he's just going to be slow and methodical. Make it happen. He'll get back to the front.
Josh Mercurio there in the middle of a 3-wide situation when we're looking at the 4 car there, Christian Torres. Oh, Tarnation TV curse.
You talked about him.
Yeah. Torres goes around because it has to happen. Torres actually races with a keyboard because remember he got in the Daytona race, didn't he come in 3rd?
I think it was 2nd.
It might have been 2nd. He got a podium finish at Daytona and he uses a keyboard to play this.
Yeah, and he actually
amazing.
Yeah, and actually he wasn't in the lead, but we're back under caution. Just kind of keeping an eye on Alex Moe. He's, like I said, slowly but methodically working his way past the cars. He's back up into the 4th position. He was almost getting to the point where he was about ready to take the 3rd position away, but caution got there before he could get that.
Seth Cole, your race leader last time by. Jarrett Gavois in the 23. Kick. That's that Twitch clone. Cool looking car, though.
Seth Cole staying out. Keith Hughes is going to go down and take some tires.
Do you have the power to grab people in the race and bring them up for interviews and stuff?
Absolutely. Who would you like to talk to?
That's an excellent question. I'm looking for my notes here. Oh, I think it was. Let me see. It was Merkel on the 24 because he won last week.
I'll find him here first.
It's a full team speak server. He is there. His mic's actually muted. He's got the little cross through his microphone. I'll wake him up.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Wake up, Jack.
See if we can wake him up.
Jack Merkel, live on Tarnation TV. You got us, buddy? You have to unmute your microphone, though, because we're shady that way.
Might not be able to do it while he's in the NASCAR game, though.
You're right. He might not be able to. We could pretend to be him. I do a really good Jack Merkel impression.
But I want you to do a Jack Merkel impression while you got Jack Merkel right here. That sounds great.
Yeah. Pretend, interview me, or interview Jack, and I'll do his voice.
Okay. So, congratulations on your win last week, and you seem to be doing fairly good here tonight. So, how's your race going so far?
Well, race is going good, eh? Like, fantastic and whatnot. I'm driving this 24 around here. It's doing great, but...
All right, well, we're getting ready to go back green. We're going to let you have some fun. Have a good race.
Thanks, man. See how good that was? It sounded just like Jack.
You did it. It was a perfect job.
Yep.
I bet you
Didn't
he
sound
is
anything. Didn't sound anything like Blaine Donnelly.
Right. But back to me.
That's why they pay us the
Sorry,
big
I'm
bucks.
laughing.
Holy moly!
Nate Dorsey, though, took the lead on the outside, which is pretty good. Took the lead away from Seth Cole.
Somebody went around there on cold tires. I can't see who it was. The Snap-on car.
That would be Denny Carroll. That's a name I know well.
Yes. Denny Carroll doing... we could interview Denny Carroll right now if you want. I can do a pretty good Denny Carroll impression.
You want to actually interview him? Or
Yeah,
do you want to
maybe we should just grab him because he'll actually have a microphone turned on.
We picked the perfect time to talk to somebody when he's actually going the wrong direction. Denny Carroll, Rod Weston, Blaine Donnelly up the booth. Blaine, take it away.
Yeah, man, we were just thinking, you went around in circles back there. So, are you dizzy?
No. Am I on y'all's channel?
Yes, sir. Live on Tarnation TV right now.
Somebody just punted me. I worked my way all the way up to the front and get ran over. I think I'm getting ready to park.
That's been happening tonight. We've, let's see. We've had 6 yellow flags in 19 laps. So, so far we're working our way through the field, just chatting with people.
Well, I've had good luck missing the wrecks, but when somebody runs up behind you and just runs over you, ain't nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, we were talking about that at the start of the race, Rod and I, because everybody's running different lines, different break points. It's a long race. It's kind of just, there's definitely going to be some paint being traded out there this evening, to say the least.
I mean, Ben works hard to get all these people here. They should show him more respect and to race like they do.
Yeah. Oh, like just give a little bit more space, especially early on.
Well, I mean, they don't. I think some of these guys just like to wreck. I don't think they want to race.
Yeah. Yeah, especially on a tight track like this.
I'd say they're all young, too, from what I can gather.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a learning experience, too. They got to follow you around out here.
Well, I'd rather they stay out behind me.
So that's the thing going forward then. Are you trying to stay out there as long as possible before you come down and get service? But, I mean, you got to get to the front to make that happen, right?
I'm seriously thinking about retiring.
Oh, okay. Well, if
I've run 4 or 5 races over here. I think I've only finished 1.
Oh, right on. Yeah,
I don't have much luck over here.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's a full house. 38 guys in here again tonight on a random Tuesday evening. So it's always cool to see you out here running.
Yeah, I mean, well, Ben works really hard to get these full fields. I mean, he advertises, and he really works. Then these guys want to run like this. Look like they'd rather show a little more respect to him, or at least I would.
Yeah. Oh, we're green. I forget. We're green again. We're running this custom executable. We'll let you get back to it, man. Thanks for chatting with us.
All right. See you, Rod.
See you, buddy.
I keep forgetting we go green so quick here because they can just literally click the green button.
Probably not the best thing to do to bring a driver up just after he's gotten dumped, but yeah.
Well, I like Denny. Denny won't hold back. That's kind of why I like to have him up here sometimes, because he's like, something. I don't like what just happened. He'll tell you.
Yeah, yeah. And I tell you, I think he was being very polite in how he was saying it. I did go back and take a look at it, and the 80 did kind of just drive in there over his head and get right in the back of him. But and he's not wrong.
You see how we were talking to him. He goes, "Am I on your channel right now?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're live on the air, buddy." Because he might have used a different set of language filters on that one, maybe. Because we all there's 2 channels of Tarnation TV. There's Tarnation TV, and then there's Tarnation TV Turbo, and that's the one that we don't censor. So if we were racing over there, let her rip. But over here, it's G-rated show.
So as we were chatting with Denny Carroll and having all that fun, Alex Moe has worked his way back out to the front. Currently in same car that got Denny Carroll just got in the back of the leader, and now he's on his lid.
61 just took care of him though.
Wow.
I kind of wonder if maybe Anthony did that on purpose just to get that 80 out of the way. Just picked him up and threw him over the wall. Dalton Reed.
I know we gotta be biased up here and whatnot, but that 80 is gonna get his brakes checked because that's the second time he's wrecked somebody. The last 2 cautions have been his fault.
Yeah. Do they do 2 in park here? I think, I don't know.
Can probably pull that up. Give me a minute.
Yeah, I mean, we're just watching replay there. You can't be racing the leader, man. You just got to let him go. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, the leader caught you. Just let the leader go kind of thing. No, he's stuck on his lid. He probably had to call for a tow truck. Back to the pits for the 80, Dalton Reed. He's 2 laps down, currently retired. Only 1 car has retired from the race, and that is Buddy Campos. Jackson Brown in the 51 hasn't retired, but he's not on the track. I don't know how that works. Maybe he got disconnected.
So I'm going to I just saw something on pit road.
Okay.
Your number 80 is a keyboard warrior.
Oh, his keyboard guy. Okay.
It'd be hard for him to break if he doesn't have his settings right for his keyboard.
Yeah. That's the thing. There's a lot of very intricate settings in the menus that you can... Because the difference between using a steering wheel with pedals and using a keyboard is like, your brake pedal can go from like 1% to 100%, where a key on your keyboard is an instantaneous 0 to 100 press. But you can do a dampening, right? You can set that
there's
key
a setting.
Yeah.
So like in the steering, they have steering linearity, which will slow that whole process down. In the braking, there's settings in there that you can go in and set your brakes to where they don't break or lock up and do stuff like that. But sometimes like there's a setting in there for anti-lock brakes. But if you try to use anti-lock brakes, it doesn't always work like you would hope it would. It makes it so sometimes you don't really get it. It doesn't stop like it should.
Right. Yeah, you're trying your hardest to check up in a situation like that, and it doesn't react as a pedal would. And that's the problem.
Glad to see, although he was a little upset with the 80, that Denny Carroll is still out there running and trying to just finish the race. I'm glad to see he's doing it.
Pace car is off. Josh Mercurio on the outside of Jonathan Peavy in that number 2. Whoa, he got a big hop there.
Oh, stacking up on the front.
And calamity ensues on the front straightaway. My God. Seth Cole over. Denny Carroll looking for the hot dog cart.
It's probably easier to tell you who's not involved in it.
Us.
Yes.
We were not involved in that wreck.
Seth Cole's in there. Alex Moan had gone in and pitted. Now, unfortunately for all of them drivers, especially Alex Moan and all them, they were on a caution cool down, which meant no caution flag. Alex Moe, they finally did get the pull the caution. Okay. So Alex Moe had gone in taking tires because he had gotten spun. So it had been interesting to see how far up through the pack that he would come up through with the fresher tires, because there wasn't too many other people that had come down there. Mind you, some of them were out there with tires that were still relatively new. That's still, and at the end of a run, it's going to be an advantage.
Just reading the YouTube chat here. Josh 2 asked, did you have a knockout qualifying? No, we didn't. There was just enough people to fill it up.
Jonathan Peavy out leading in first place, getting his first laps led of the night. Austin the Plant, man. Like I always say, that's a name that I hadn't heard for a long time. Raced with him over to Hobo. He's impressed me because just about every time we're out here racing, he's usually hiding around, works his way up into the top 5 and been finishing pretty decent. Had some races the other day, last week. I think the last race we aired where he didn't quite have the luck he needed, but out there in a Lexus Dasani Lexus.
Just reading the YouTube chat here. L. Snyder, which I believe would be Linda Snyder, she says yes, it is a 2 in park. So that's why we have just seen Dalton Reed in the 80 retire from the race. Benjamin Snyder has also retired from the race. Avery's channel on YouTube says you can have your steering brake and gas all be gradual if you're on a keyboard. Yeah.
Yes, there's settings for it.
Yeah, there's I remember there's like a dampening, like a linearity setting curve of some kind, or like a double tap is harder braking than just a single tap. I know there's stuff like that. You can definitely, lots of layers. They're hidden menus though. Like you go into the menus and then there's like additional advanced settings. You got to get right into the nitty gritty. It is doable though. I've seen guys just dominate with keyboard. So.
Yeah, oh yeah. And then there's guys that do it with the controllers and whatnot. And the wheels that are out there nowadays, you know, mine, it's a 20-year-old plus TSW wheel, which back in the day was the wheel to have. And they are great wheels. They don't compare to these newer wheels where you can control your brake dampening, your steering ratio. We were talking the other day with a buddy of mine, Josh Boyer. They can actually change your steering ratio while they're racing.
Really?
It's crazy. Oh, yeah.
In like a real car or just in a game?
In the game. When you're in a Fanatec wheel, you're allowed to. We're going back green with Josh.
Wow. That's pretty
Jonathan
cool.
PV allowed to lead. Yeah. There's people on iRacing that will change it as the tire wear goes down. They'll change their steering ratio to accommodate.
Wow. That's not very... Because you can't do that in a real car.
Not a steering ratio, no.
Huh.
Depending
That's
on
not very simulator style racing then.
In the Cup Series, they actually had it for a couple of years where you could actually do adjust the track bar on the steering wheel.
Oh, okay.
Had an actuator on there where you were only allowed a certain amount of distance. If you needed to be beyond that distance when you pitted, they could adjust the track bar a little bit more, but they could actually adjust the track bar so that you could, where you're able to. Jonathan Peavy just come off turn 2, hit the fence. Josh Mercurio is going to go in the 86 pink Cadillac. He's going to get himself, pull out there and take the lead. Austin Plant back there in third, just watching these guys. I'd like to see him win tonight. I've raced with him, like I said before, and he's been doing this for a long time. I know he's got a couple of wins over at Hobo when he raced there. I don't think he's ever won here. Not sure. I'd have to go in and talk with Benjamin and find out the specs. But
you talking about the 92 of La Plante?
Yep. Good kick.
On the YouTube chat there, Avery says, I wish they'd be keyboards for racing, the analog keys, sort of like the buttons on a PlayStation. You can actually just use a PlayStation controller to play the game. I know there's a way to get a gamepad working too.
The thing about it is, and I know some of these people may not be able to get to them, but you can go on eBay and you can buy Logitech Wingman wheel. And they're branded, yes. They're not the best wheel out there. But I tell you, or old Momos, they're good wheels. They're not a Fanatec. They're not a Mosley. They're not also. You're not going to spend $2,000, $3,000 for a steering wheel.
Well, I still have my Wingman Formula Force and my Momo, and then I have the G29 or whatever it's called now, the PlayStation one.
2 black Momos here. One doesn't have pedals. They're world famous for the pedals wearing out.
Oh.
And I used to use it when I played Farm Simulator. I'd slap it on to do that with it. Nice. Anthony McCurry has taken over second place from Jonathan Peavy. He got a little high, hit the fence again, slowed his momentum down. Austin LaPlante has kind of done the same. Looks like Michael Norman there in the 22 is just getting past Austin. Possibly going to get Jonathan Peavy there at the same time. Maybe, nope, this is not quite. Peavy got a great run from the high groove.
Merkel back up there in 6th, defending champ from last week's win at the Robin Funker Memorial Race. dedicated in memory of Ben's late Aunt Robin.
Fran Gomez and the 81, which is Santiago Gutierrez. Going to fall victim here pretty soon to Alex Moe. 81 Santa Gutierrez. I'm saying that wrong. Just fell victim to him. He's gone back. Now Fran Gomez has got Alex Moe right there behind him. Alex is slowly but methodically working his way towards the front. I tell you, if he can stay out of trouble, that's my pick for tonight. We still
Going through wide.
Still have just under 100 laps of racing to go. He's going to work his way back to the front.
Alex is really able to keep that car down on that bottom groove, eh? That's crazy. He takes that thing 3 wide right on that yellow line and it just hangs right there.
Guarantee you he's trail braking. And he, like I tell you, he is one of the better drivers out there in this series, in the NASCAR world, the 2003 world. He does very well at a lot of tracks. There are some that he isn't the best at. There's not too many. Next victim lined up in front of him is our buddy Seth Cole, which seems to be a little tight. I think he's on a little bit older tires. He's kind of pushing up on the track.
Yeah, Alex just got by.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I think he
just got
right
by
there.
Norman, and then Seth's right there too. So that's actually Seth's co-host, Michael Norman and Seth
that's
Cole
right. That
over
name
there.
sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Yes.
Flat Out Racing Network, and they're right nose to tail right now. The 93 and the 22.
They got together a little bit. Yeah, Seth decided to move Norman out of the way.
And again, thanks to Alex Gordon from JTN for doing the Grand Marshal at the start of this race. That's super cool. Like all these different broadcasting channels, we don't care. Like, it's all one big happy family, man.
Absolutely.
All the links to all those channels are actually in the description. Cook, JTN, FRN, Top Dragster, FSB. Did I put FSB in there? I don't think I put FSB in there.
Seth is gracious enough to come over and do some of the shows with us. I know you go over there and do stuff with him when he may not have a host to it. He's never asked me, but I mean he knows I'd come.
Oh yeah, we'd be there in a second for anybody if we knew in advance. Yeah, Anthony McCurry in first place right now. He has led 28 laps this evening. Update on retired cars: Buddy Campos, Dalton Reed, Benjamin Snyder, and Ivan Hernandez retired about 15 laps ago with a gearbox failure.
Now we're talking about Alex Moe a little bit here, but he's now just taking over the third position from Josh McCurry. The Cadillac, EF Cadillac. I'm not sure what the EF stands for.
Extra fudge.
That's got to be it. Look at Papa Mark Snyder's car, right side of that. It's more like a pancake than anything else. He's had a rough night, I think. Tapping me, ripping me, boy, looking at him. He's the whole right side of that car's pancake pretty good. Merkel's starting to run down Anthony McCurry, so I believe, because Merkel was a little deeper in the field, I think Anthony is probably on the older set of the tires of the top three. Merkel's probably got a little less tires than Alex Moe, but Alex is still about 2 seconds, a little under 2 seconds behind, as Merkel takes over the lead from Anthony McCurry.
We were just in the back of the pack here looking at the 42 of Dylan Young, focused currently on the 73 of Victor Carrera. Running back there in 27th on the lead lap. And there's Jarrett Gravois. Matt McIntyre in front of him in 32, the 32nd position. I think Matt is actually, where's Matt? Matt is 5 laps down. RJ Bishop looks like he's headed to the pits.
Randy Waugh still out there. We're going to say hi to Corey.
Yep, there's Randy right there, driving the Alabama Roll Tide number 21. 3 wide going through the back straightaway here. Is that the back straightaway? Can't. Wow. Matthias Yankee, look at these guys. Holy moly. 3 wide, 66, 31, 45, 31. Torres just got into the 31. He held somehow. He didn't even move him. So get out of the way. And he's like, no. I thought for sure the 31 was going around after that hit. Steph Thomas in the 45. Sorry, go ahead.
RJ Bishop's pitting, and we haven't talked much about him tonight. He wasn't here last week, but I think it was the last week he wasn't here. He raced the first 2 races, but he's just going down pit road. So some of these guys had quite a long green flag run right here. So now it's time. Some of these guys are going to have to start hitting pit road.
Focusing on the 66 there, Keith Bowden. He's got the Canadian Tire sponsor and the Pinty's sponsor. So this dude is definitely a Canadian guy.
Gotta be it.
Oh, yeah, eh? The Pinty series.
Now, the downside to it is, I'm going to look at the thing. RJ Bishop's back on pit road. That's never a good sign.
Black flag RJ Bishop. Can confirm GNL TV reporting black flag.
Yeah, I imagine it's a speed limit infraction.
Gosh darn speed limits.
Yeah.
What is the speed limit? 45, I'm guessing?
1 second. That is something that I can find you that information on.
Yeah, to the menu you go.
40-mile-an-hour pit road speed. So I bet you he was going a little too fast.
Yeah. Rick Johnson, the 52, 18th position right there in front of him. Blaine Davis in the 04, a Gravedigger car.
I saw that one earlier. It's actually a sharp-looking rig.
That looks familiar. I think I painted that for Javier. Maybe not. No. As I say, I painted a similar one for Javier Negron.
It is a sharp-looking rig, though.
Yeah. There's Jorge Pachon in the 72, 16th position
there. I like that car. I like the looks of that car. I like the Dodge Challenger look, but
the 72?
Yeah, that's actually kind of a cool thing. It's not gaudy. It's not, you know what I mean? It's just enough to where it looks like it's got attitude.
Yeah, it's a nice crisp design. You know, nothing too crazy. It's simple cars they're hard to make them look good. But that's literally got like 3 colors and no crazy stuff. I love crazy stuff. I love that Gravedigger car, but there's the contrast. Yeah. You got that Gravedigger car, looks absolutely amazing. You got that 72 car, looks absolutely amazing. You know, different styles. I love it. That 98 looks cool too. The Mobile One.
Glad to see Denny Carroll out there still plugging away at it. Looks like, I'm trying to see if that was a lap down car that he just passed, or whether it was for position, but he's currently running in the 11th position. So yeah, he just passed the 14 to take over 11th. So he's working his way methodically back to the front after having a little bit of trouble earlier.
68 there of Joseph Landy Pavlon running in 13th. That's a nice looking rig too.
Yeah. There's actually some pretty nice looking cars out here.
Yeah. Matt Scully there in 12th position, showing him that actually that's a race for 12th, and that's one way to get the 12th position is just to push him out of the way. So JLP will take that. Another massive contact there. That'll definitely bring out yellow now.
Short track, you know.
Sorry, Scully. I just totally jinxed that guy.
One of the guys we haven't really talked to about tonight, he's still out there. Currently in the 9th position is Ulysses Sandoval. Ulysses Papi Sandoval.
The Papi.
Papi, recent champion over to HVRL, the truck series, I believe it was.
Yep.
Fairly new to the racing community, only within about 3 years, and already got the championship under his belt. I like racing him. He's a very talented, very, great driver, not aggressive to the point to where he's going to wreck you, but he's aggressive driver to where he's going to do the best he can with the equipment he's got underneath him.
And to watch him improve too, and like the only way to do it is exactly how he did it. Just race, 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 race. And follow guys like Danny Carroll and Keith Hughes and, you know, get into all these different leagues and see all these different driving styles. Like the dude just evolved so fast.
Christian Torres, I believe he is a lap down. Checking that to make sure. I think he is going to try to stay out. Hopefully that some of the other guys pit and that he is able to at least get a wave around.
Merkel drifting out of the pits there, just trying to get the first place away. They're all racing for... Watch the race off pit road here.
Yeah, Torres is saying going to stay out to try to... I believe he's going to try to be able to just be the wave around. One of the drivers that finished second at Daytona, you know, they guys that are good at Daytona, not always good at short tracks, so struggling a little bit. I believe he, like you said, he's only one lap down.
Who's that you're looking for?
Christian Torres. I'm looking at the right now. Yeah, so he's on. He's got the wave around, so he's gonna be back on a league lap. Monster Energy number 4.
The red light is up. There we go. We were just watching Gutierrez there in the 81. If anybody was wondering why he stopped, well, you know what? We can load it up and show you. We can go cockpit cam. So what'll happen, especially when you got a full field and you're coming off the pit road, he has to wait because there's a red light flashing. Right there, the red light is on. Pit road exit. You gotta wait. It turns green, and then he goes. You cannot come out of the pits in the middle of the pack, otherwise you'll get an unsafe exit. So that's why he waited to come off pit road, because the pace car was still pulling the entire pack by, or the entire field by.
Anthony McCurry had the lead, took the lead at the beginning of it, but he lost it going into turn 3 and 4. Unfortunately for Jack Merkel, who was the guy that took it from him, overshot the corner just a little bit, hit the wall in the exit of turn 2, which slowed him down and allowing Anthony to get back out front. And then we have Alex Moe back there in the 3rd position, Josh Mercurio in the 4th position, and we're back to caution again.
And all that happened in a span of 15 seconds.
And Adam Cole, currently running up in the 5th position. We haven't really talked much about him tonight. Just kind of been staying out of trouble and got himself kind of a little past the halfway point, and he's kind of got himself in the top 5. Did I step on you there?
Nope, we're all good. I'm just getting the camera lined up, doing another, just kind of moving through the field here. So get a look at some of these cars up close.
Purple is the only car that's pitting out of the front. That's going to put Adam Cole back up into the 4th position, and Keith Hughes into the 5th position. 6 car Tate Dorsey will be restarting in the 6th position if they choose to stay out, which I believe they probably will. Not really keeping records. We're not Seth Cole here, you know, so we're not keeping records. So when the last time they pit, trust me, this many cars currently have still about 32 cars out there running. Trying to keep track of who pitted, when they got new tires, not gonna happen.
So for the least amount of pit stops, Austin LaPlante, Sandy Gutierrez. Sandy Gutierrez has only actually pit once.
Wow.
He's currently running in 19th last time our score clock updated.
Jack Merkel has pitted 5 times tonight. Him and get it lined up right. Yeah, him and Keith Hughes. 2 most front-running guys that have actually pitted multiple times. quite a few times. But that's just the thing of keeping fresh tires on. Especially, we had a pretty good run there of green flag. So you don't want to be out there and have to hit under green, and then shortly after that have a caution come out and get caught a lap down.
That's the thing. Like, you don't know if you're going to run a long run, and it can be done. We've seen it happen here tonight.
Yep.
You need those tires on there where if maybe you've got 10 laps on them. Well, damn, I'm in the middle of a long run, and now I got to make a green flag pit stop. It's been enough yellows. It's like, well, sometimes it happens. But, being on pit road under a green flag condition, there could be a giant wreck you're avoiding, too. So there's always a silver lining.
Anthony Mercuri had the lead. Alex Moe took it away from him on the outside. Josh Mercurio back there in third, hanging on to it. I don't know who's got the biggest. That's the big thing we don't know is who's got the better tires up here.
Rewind it and watch that overtake from Alex Moe's cockpit.
Got a great start. I mean, timed it right.
Perfect shifts. He actually got credit for the lap. He's able to just lock her down and drive away from him off that high line.
But Denny Carroll is currently in the 11th, 10th position. Kind of a battle going back and forth. A little bit with Jonathan Peavy right now. Merkel's right behind them with fresher tires. He's actually going to turn underneath Denny Carroll. I think you'll see him probably head more to the, get towards the front with those fresher tires. He can make up so much time in the middle of the corners.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to have any kind of pit strategy. I mean, we could get another long run to the finish. You never know.
If we do, I think you're going to see the beneficiary of that is going to be Merkel, because he just pitted. He's currently Jack's currently in the 10th position.
Yeah.
And coming up, and he's passing cars. He's making up like probably about almost car length and a half in every corner with the fresher tires.
Able to drive it just a little bit harder in there. We were talking to Benjamin before the race started, and he was keeping us posted on this is the Maverick Cup Series, and then he also has the West Series that will combine with this series 4 times this year. We've already done it once at Vegas. But he's also working on 2 new series, the North Series and the Road Course Series, coming up probably next year.
That. I like that. I don't know if I'd really want to run a road course every week, but I like some of the road courses out there are really good. Some of them not so much, but
no, but the thing with the road course, I mean, it's like any track in here too, right? They're all so different, and there's not a whole lot of road courses going on. It would be cool if you used the PTA physics and maybe ran some Trans Ams or some Indy cars or something.
Yeah, that would make a difference to it, yes.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Because you could just get a lot more control in those corners and stuff. But either way, if he's still running these Cup Series NASCARs, that's fine too. I like a good road course.
Michael Norman's back there in the 9th position. He's flat out, one of our fellow broadcasters out there, works with Seth Cole and flat out.
Yep.
Currently running around in the 9th position or so. Recently just got passed by Jack Merkel. Of course, we know
Seth Cole yielding to the leader, spins around.
Oh, no. Yeah, he got tagged by the 6th of Dorsey.
He was actually yielding to Moe, and then the thing just snapped right around on him. Yellow flag on the course. It's all Seth's fault.
It's a hard hit.
Seth's fault. 100% Seth's fault.
We'll ask him about it absolutely this weekend.
We'll ask him about it right now if you want to drag him in here.
Try that.
currently looking for Seth Cole from FRN live on.
He's got his mic muted, you know, so
Oh,
he's just
man.
not a talker. You know what I mean?
Seth Cole live on Tarnation TV. You got me, buddy? I can do a really good Seth impression. Oh,
there he is.
I was going to do a Seth impression, but you were good. We got you. This caution is entirely your fault. Explain yourself.
Yes, it is. Yeah, just the older tires, and it didn't grip going into the corner. I don't know what it is. I was on the brakes completely, and it still slid down in front of Tate. So I hate that.
We were watching you like yield to the leader, and then the thing just snapped right around on you.
Yeah, if you get up out of the groove a little bit there, those right side tires, they don't grip. And I built up enough tire heat in the right rear that just looped around on me. I've had that happen a couple of times, and I've been fortunate that I've been up high enough that just have the outside wall save me. I was hoping that was going to be the case here, but when I hit the wall, it directed me down the track instead of just keeping me straight.
Well, we're seeing you on pit road there now. Any hammers coming out to the rear end of that thing?
Oh yeah. They've been beating on this car the whole time.
It's just constant mallets just smashing that sheet metal. Well, hey, we got the Blaine, Seth, and a Rod show here right now, man. We're going to be back together on Saturday for the ALS race, so that'll be a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to that one. Had that marked on my calendar for quite a while.
Yeah, it's been an annual thing now, so yeah, we'll see you there.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. See you then.
Right on, man. Good luck the rest of the race.
Thank you.
And one of the guys that knows how to turn his mic on from the new, remotely, I would say.
Well, you need the keyboard bind to do it. And if we know a guy who's got binds for miles, it's going to be Seth. Yeah, I've got a second keyboard I hooked up as a macro keyboard. That's how many binds I got here tonight.
That's cool. Getting ready to go back green.
So he sped out of the pit. He merged into that whole mess, but he gets to go around, I guess. You just take the end of longest line penalty for running that pit road stop sign.
Yep. It comes one to go, you can actually speed, and you don't get a penalty.
We're 4 wide back here. Keith Bowden just got moved out of the way there. All keeping it together, though. Uh-oh, Denny involved there. He kept it straight somehow. The wall saved him. Who went around back there? Somebody went around back there.
Tight battle up front. Anthony McCurry had kind of fighting with Alex Moe. Alex hasn't gotten him yet, and Anthony losing the battle slowly, but finally did on the back stretch. But that was pretty good racing there. They were side by side, and Anthony did not want to give that to Alex Moe.
Alex Moe, 24 laps led. Anthony McCurry, 37 laps led. Black flag being shown to Adam Cole from the 4th position. I'm guessing that's just a restart black.
Yep.
That'll be cleared.
And then the reason why you have that is these guys do double file restarts. And the game is not set up for double file restarts. When you set the game up for double file restarts, the way the game does it is, back in the day, they would allow the lap down cars to come up on the inside and the laid lap cars on the outside. And so that way, that's how the lap down cars had the potential of possibly getting their lap back. So what some of the leagues do, they want to be able to have that side-by-side 2-wide restarts like they do now in the modern NASCAR. So they do that, but if you jump a little bit on the outside or maybe even on the inside, you end up incurring a black flag, so they will clear that black flag because of a restart violation. Yeah,
that's something they will clear every time now, especially with tight racing online. It's hard to deal with that stuff, but some leagues don't clear any blacks. So if that does happen, you're stuck with it.
Yeah, well, we've had a few different leagues that I run on that do that, but none of them guys that are doing that are doing the double file restart. So everybody starts single file. That way you don't, if you concur a black flag on a restart, well, you've done something seriously wrong. So they don't have to.
Yeah.
The only downside, in my own opinion, of the double file restart, where you clear everybody's black flag. So, I've never done it, but people can do it. You go to pit down pit road under the caution. You accidentally pass the car that's in front of you, which will give you a drive-through penalty. Well, you just make sure that you pass the guy that's you're beside on the restart, holler that you've got a black flag, it's cleared, you do not have to serve that other penalty.
We're just looking at RJ Bishop on pit road. He also mentioned in the YouTube chat here live that he has no fourth gear in that car.
Oh. Yeah, that makes for a long race.
Yeah. But he's still out there picking away at it because now he's got a couple of retired cars in front of him, actually. Randy Waugh has retired from being in an accident, and Victor Carrera has also retired, so Bishop can actually pick up those two spots. It ends up being about 10 points.
And especially if you're doing I don't say points racing because I've never really done what they call points racing. I always go out, do the best I can, and the points will fall where they fall. But if you're a driver that is going to run the whole season in an attempt to try to be the champion, every point counts.
Yep. And Bishop's out here every week, and he is currently. Let me see. He's currently 31 laps down. And there's Mark Snyder just retired also with a gearbox failure. And there's still about 40-something laps left. So if Bishop keeps running, he can actually pick those 3 spots up. He does have enough laps left in the race to actually leapfrog all 3 of those cars that have retired in front of him. So you get out there, keep clicking those laps off, and gain yourself an extra 10 or 15 points.
That's the funny thing about short tracks like this. We've been so busy watching the racing on there, talking about the racing and all that. We're at lap 120 of 160, so we only have 40 laps left to go. This race has gone by pretty darn quick.
It has.
Anthony McCurry is actually starting to get a little aggressive as we're getting down to about 40 laps to go. I believe they can make it on fuel, possibly on tires as well. He's just getting a little aggressive on Alex Moe, trying to get up there and make Alex make a mistake, maybe possibly get out there and back out front, getting that clean air, and maybe get.
We're watching We're currently watching Gutierrez and LaPlante fight here for 14th spot. It's a pretty good battle. They're side by side, leapfrogging each other. It looks like Gutierrez got a hold of it, though. LaPlante slipped up a little bit more space between them now, but that was a fight for 14th.
Currently, right now, the 2 guys in first and second have led the most laps. They're tied right now for the most laps led. So Anthony's, trying to get out there and trying to lead laps. Like I said, points are points. I believe they still get the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. Yep. You want to. Some guys are aggressive. They want to get that. Myself, no. I just like to stay out of trouble. But some guys are more the front runners, and some guys wait to the end to do the charging.
We've got Trey Kinsey here. Ulysses Sandoval all over him, trying to get around him. Overdriving the car a little bit, I think, now because Ulysses faded back a little bit. Kinsey now chasing down the 199. Fran Gomez for the next position there. So McIntyre will be a lap car that this pass won't count for position. McIntyre's doing the right thing there. He just moves out of the way, let the leaders go. And Ulysses Sandoval and Jonathan Peavy. Oh, McIntyre got a little sideways, got up there and tapped the wall. Like Seth was saying, though, sometimes you get lucky and the wall can save you. Straighten the car right out, just keep on driving.
Yep.
Not so sure about that right rear hub, but, whatever. We'll fix that, get a new one.
2 great battles up front there, though. Alex Moe and Anthony McCurry for the first and second. Nose to tail. Anthony's not been able to make up too much more ground. But then behind him, you get Josh Mercurio and Jack Merkel fighting for the 3rd spot right now. It's not really heated up. They're still nose to tail, but as they're getting down to it, we're getting close to 30 laps to go. So it's time to start kind of making you move a little bit.
Is it time to make the moves now? Because they're going to definitely have to pit one more time to get to the end of this deal.
Well, about 60 so laps on fuel. I don't know. But the biggest thing is his tires. I mean, can you make it on tires?
Merkel underneath Mercurio here. Door to door, side by side. They're both holding a pretty good line, but looks like Merkel is going to get. We've got yellow out there now. We'll go back and see what happened there as we lock down the field here. Lap 130 of 160. Another great green flag run here.
Yeah. Now, that'd be interesting to see. I would imagine almost everybody's going to pit, but you might have some guys maybe only take 2. So far, everybody's headed down pit road. One car stayed out, but I don't think that's one of the lead lap cars.
Looking back from Mo here, coming down in first place. 61, the 24. Hughes not giving the 48 much room to get out of there. I don't know if Mo's going to be able to mow full service, 4 tires all the way around. We're just focused on Alex here in the 48. He had to make contact with the 82 to get out, and that cost him a spot.
We have a handful of drivers that stayed out. They are all drivers that are 1 or more laps down, and some of them pitted on the second time around. The other ones are going to stay out and try to get a wave around. One of those is Matt McIntyre, and the other one is R.J. Bishop. Looks like Seth Cole is probably going to stay out and take the wave around as well.
Yeah.
So just checking on the cars there just to see what, where, when, and how. So we know that those 3 drivers, Seth's going to get back on the lead lap. RJ is unfortunately, he's 37 laps down. He's just trying to finish and get the best points he can. We know, talked about him earlier.
Did you happen to see the service on the 61? Did he opt for 2 tires, or did he take full?
I did not see that, but I will find that out.
Because Alex got 4. We were focused on Alex because he was the leader going into the pits, and he lost 2 spots. So he's still up in top 4 here. So I'm thinking they probably all took full service. Alex had to really get on that throttle to get around the 82, sort of blocked him in just a little bit, where I think it affected his exit. This will be the race to watch. These guys have been up here the whole day. The 24, the 61, the 48, the 86, trading some paint. Holy moly.
A little bit of contact, great save. Anthony McRae did take 4 tires.
Oh, okay. So it was just a fact that the exit from the 48's pit stall, because the 82 had to kind of come in on an angle, and that pit road's sort of on a bend too. You're kind of, it's not straight.
He also had the first pit stall, so
if the guy in front of you can't get in there and get it perpendicular, it's like, he kind of plugs your exit a little bit, costs him a little bit of track position, but not too much. Still in third.
Creeping around 25 to go. They know we can make it on fuel and tires. But if you go out there and try to set qualifying laps, lap after lap after lap, at the end of 25 laps, you're probably not going to have much for tires.
No, I'm thinking
smart ones.
You might. Are you thinking maybe it's good to start saving and then just maybe be able to drive these? Hope these other guys drive the tires off it.
I think you gotta be like Alex Moe here. You got to be kind of smart and just save a little bit for a while. Keep them within you. Keep him there, and kind of just take your time, and then when you get down about probably halfway through the run, start putting the pressure on him. Anthony's kind of driving it, a little harder to try to get by Jack Merkel, and Just don't think these guys. I think these guys are using up a little bit more than Alex Moe is right now.
That's the thing with Jack running out of the rearview mirror. I mean, you might not want to use up all your stuff, but you're just gonna have to.
You don't want to get that guy to get to your bumper.
No.
So you got to try to keep him at a certain pace.
And we're looking at. We've had 12 yellows for 39 laps.
Right.
You're assuming there might be another one, so you probably can use up some of your stuff.
Well, it's late. You can do, like I said, it's about a 60 laps you could go. I think Anthony's really, really pushing the issue because he come off turn 4.
Yeah.
Just grazed the wall a little bit.
Yep.
I think he's really trying to get by Jack. Jack might be a little more conservative, but I think the out of the top 3 drivers, you even got Josh McCurry back there. He's not on the rear bumper of Alex Moe. He's not pushing him. We got 20 laps to go. Let's run a little bit. Let these guys up front burn this stuff up. We'll go get them.
It'll be fun to watch to see, the intervals will start changing to see kind of how that plays out. Do you want to try to get first, or do you content just sort of saving and getting second? Or
I think a lot of that depends on if you're here for a one race deal trying to win, or if you're here for points.
Yeah, because everybody wants to win.
Yep,
but then in the long run, you've got a long season ahead too. So it's like you can burn all your stuff off and lose that second place position, maybe come in 15th, or maybe just conserve and drop a couple spots. There's a whole there's all different kinds of ways this can play out.
I just went through the top 4. The only one that was turning their fastest lap in that last lap was Josh McCurry. So he's getting down to the point where he's starting to push it a little bit.
We'll have the interval up there. That little black box on the left, that's real time at the line. The ticker does take a little while to update because it has to do a full spin. Where that black box will update every car as they hit the line within about a second. So if you got the number of your favorite car and they're in the top 10, you're going to see it on the top left of your screen there in that black. That thing right there that's flashing. See it? There it is.
I think, like I said, Anthony McCurry was just pushing it a little bit, trying to get past Jack Markle. Now Jack's kind of pulled away from him a little bit.
Yeah, Jack's keeping about half second behind him according to the interval there. Oh, McCreary again. It looked like he tagged the wall again there a little bit.
Trying to keep track of their point, what they're turning for times.
Trying to see the right side of this 61.
Pretty beat up.
No damage. He has tagged that wall a couple of times, but it's not showing any damage.
Alex Moe's car looks pretty good, but it's got some scratches and dings in it. He's been involved in a couple of situations that just didn't have anywhere to go.
Just looking back at the YouTube chat there, Avery asks, where was it? Can people join Maverick? Yes, there's a bunch of new racers here this evening that have actually never raced here before, too. Some of these names we're getting used to.
Back in
Maverick will open arms. Just find him on Facebook. There's a link in the description of this thing. They'll take you right to that Facebook page.
Under caution, we're going to have probably 8 laps to go when we get done with this round of caution. That's going to make it a bit interesting. Now you've got 8 laps. You're not going to be saving anything.
No. I know the back of the pack will definitely pit. Nobody up front's going to do it.
We're going to have to keep track of where that line comes in. Now, it's hard to pass here, even if you do have fresher tires. You're going to be able to do it much easier but it's not an easy pass unless the person in front of you actually gives you the room to do it. Oh wow! There was some games being played there. Josh Mercurio and Adam Cole, the only two front runners. Sorry about that though. Keith Hughes came in as well, and then as we thought, most of the drivers in the back are coming in.
Yeah, we've got to get an angle on this. On this commitment cone, because that Alex Moe right there, man, he was going in, and he decided at the last second. Now that cone, you can see the cone right there. Those two cones of that white line. This is in super slow motion. Once you're over that line, you got to go and down pit road and take your service. Alex changes his mind. Merkel stays out. And Alex is okay. He gets around that cone at the last second. Norman stays out. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's the commitment cone. You have to commit, right? And he had enough room beside him to crank that thing back out onto the track. That was a violent change of pace right there. Wow.
So it's probably about an 8-lap shootout. We go green the rest of the way.
So
two
track
Hendrick
position.
Motorsports cars on the bottom, 1 and 3. They're painted up like Hendrick Motorsports cars. Yeah.
Look at that pass. Hughes goes to the left coming off pit road to go around the... I can't remember who that is. Is that the 81, I think? Passed him between the wall. Ran over his pit crew. The gas man, everybody in the hospital.
About 8 to go. Get ready to go back green. Josh Mercurio was the first driver to pit for new tires. Fuel. Along with Keith Hughes, who's on the bottom.
Yeah. So
interesting
now,
to see what these new tires can do.
I'm going to say that, yeah, because we've got these guys up front. They all faked
Josh
them out.
Mercurio was around backwards going into exit of turn 2.
So these front runners right here are running on used up, not completely used up tires, but they are definitely got some miles on them.
That we're back under caution now. This is kind of more of an advantage to Keith Hughes per se. Downside to it is where it's an advantage, it's now where they're bunching him back up. The downside is we're starting to run out of laps. So we're going to be maybe 4 laps to go when this thing goes back green.
So where did the caution come out again? I missed that.
It was out of turn 2. I saw Mercurio's car backwards and the fence. Not sure what happened to him.
Okay. Oh, that is definitely it. So as you go green, it looks like they got about 4 wide here.
Now I'm wondering if they do like some leagues.
Oh, there's a tussle in front, yeah. And then he got cut up later. So yeah, there's a couple of little accidents there.
Some leagues will do like what they call a short caution. When you get down to 10 to go, they only do 1 caution. Once everybody hits the start-finish line, next time they go around, they only, they pull the caution. And it just saves time, more green flag runs.
Right.
So
that might happen here. We watch these lights on this pace car. They are flashing because we are under yellow. If they go out, there is 1 to go.
Jack Merkel's currently leading. Anthony McCurry second.
And
Alex Moe's third.
That last restart, I was a little bit behind, so.
Mike Norman is in third. Rick Johnson, Jonathan Peavy.
Lights are off. We will go green next time around. You can see that right there. The 42 of Dylan Young on his way around.
Blaine Davis is 7th. Now the first car out there with new tires, Keith Hughes. He is in 8th position on the outside.
8th position on the outside. Hughes has full service, you say?
Yep. Only Honda in the field.
Good old Honda.
We won't give you the acronym that we use around here for that.
I just put a brand new alternator in mine, running great. 230,000 kilometers.
I have almost 130,000 on my Honda Element. So
about the same then, because mine's kilometers compared to miles, about the same, 140,000 miles.
Ooh,
anyway, green flagging it.
Oh, Michael Norman was sideways in the corner. I don't think he had any help. They're going to be racing back.
We are within 5, so there won't be any yellows.
Oh, that's right, too. No yellows. Alex Moe gets underneath Anthony McCurry.
Yep, almost.
Now, 2 laps to go. Can he catch Jack Markle?
I don't know, man. Jack's... He's on older stuff, but all 3 of these guys are. Like you said, Hughes is the only guy who's got new stuff, and he's nowhere in this picture. Well, he is. He's in 5th or 6th.
Good battle for second, though.
These guys are fantastic battle for second, yeah.
Anthony McCurry's trying to get his nose underneath there. Alex decides to not give him the room this time by.
Nope.
White flag is out. Jack Merkel's got a comfortable lead. About almost a second lead.
He's giving him a run for his money there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be able to make it stick, though. McCurry trying to get under Moe. Can't do it.
Moe's putting a little block on it.
Sure that traffic he don't get there. It looks like Merkel's going to get it. And the battle for second is Moe.
Anthony McCurry is going to be your third place finish.
Merkel first place. Give that man the checkered flag. The 24, Jack Merkel. Race number 3, he has won twice here at the Maverick Cup Series. Won last week at Las Vegas at the Robin Hunker Memorial.
That was a pretty good finish to that race. Them guys in second and third really battling it out. Alex just had to use a little strategy to keep him underneath him, knowing that if he didn't, he knew that he would be able to sneak by him. See if we can get Anthony McCurry up here.
We're trying to get a view of the winner, but we can't see with all the smoke. Okay, there he is.
There we go. Okay, we got to get him to turn his mic on.
Hello.
Anthony McCurry. Good race. You led actually the most laps tonight. Or no, not the most.
No, I would love to have.
Almost.
See, you led the third most laps of the night. You were up there for quite a bit off and on, and then Alex Moe kind of took that away from you. But you ran up on front most of the night, really. You off and on, and a few pit stops where people didn't pit got you kind of put in the back a little bit, but you're able to work your way back up there. You had a great battle with Alex Moe at the end there. Really, honestly, if I had to say, it was a great race for you tonight. I know you didn't get the W, but tell us a little bit about your race tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect to qualify on pole, so that was already exciting. But then when we got in the race going, I didn't realize how good of a long run car we had until there was a long run. And earlier in the race when Alex was leading, I was starting to creep up on him and trying to pass him. And then obviously we got unlucky with yellows tonight and wasn't quite able to pull it off. But no, this track was really fun to drive. You could kind of like gauge how much of your tires you wanted to use based on like where you let off going into turn 1 and everything. It was so much fun. We did get a little unlucky running into a couple cars during I think one of the cooldowns, and there was just a stack up in front of everybody, and we ended up running into I think the 18 or the 80 or something like that. So we were fighting damage all night, but at the end of the day, it wasn't bad. I mean, a top 3 at my home track is not bad, actually.
It keeps you solidly in the points. If you're points racing, you've been here every race so far, so I believe you're still right there in the points. And that's what you got to do. You got to just go out there, finish the best you can, try to keep all 4 wheels on it, and obviously finish is one of the more important things. So you seem to do that well tonight. The little struggles near the end there. It seemed as though that the timing of when it came out, the last caution, kind of set you up on older tires. I think you might have used them up a little bit more than Jack Merkel did. And then the battle with Alex Moe was, like I said, was pretty good. I think your tires are a little bit more used up, but all in all, I guess you can't complain. It was a pretty good race for you.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, we did. It was fun battling Alex all night. It was him and I had some pretty good dog fights, so it was nice. Him and I were on like a similar tire wear, but we were also like on the same tire strategy. I think Jack had pitted like a lap earlier. Well, he had pitted at one of the last cautions way back, like with 60 or something to go. So he had inherently a lap fresher tire. So it was going to be an uphill battle to catch the 24 tonight. But yeah, super fun race.
Well, I think you did a great job. I'm going to give you the floor to thank anybody you want to thank for tonight's event and whatnot. And the floor is yours.
Yeah, I want to thank Fortnite Squad Racing, Abruzzi. If you want any sim racing gear, specifically Moza, and you're a Jimmy Broadbent fan, abruzzi.co.uk. Go get your sim racing gear over there. Celsius, RVAV, you guys for broadcasting. It was a fun night. It was a great night.
Congratulations on your third place finish, and congratulations. Hopefully you do well in the points. Keep at it and keep pushing towards.
Thank you, sir.
Now our second place finish. My pick for the tonight. You disappointed me, Alex, but that's all right. You had a great race tonight. You got caught up in a few things. Usually when you ended up coming in and getting tires and other people stayed out, and then a good battle there at the end with Anthony McCurry at the end. Tell me how your race went.
Hey guys, long time no talk. Yeah, I got caught up a little bit. Luckily it was early, and I just wanted to keep the track position all race. That last pit stop we had, I got boxed in a little bit, and I think that's why it put me from the lead back to third. And I just, once you're behind someone, the car tightens up quite a bit, and it just wasn't turning as well as it was in clean air. But yeah, that was a hell of a battle between me and the 61 Anthony McCurry there at the end. That was fun. It's car don't turn too well once the tires are worn and they're cold, so it was a little wild.
Yeah, and of course this isn't Michigan, the track that I've seen you dominate so many times. Are you are kind of a fan of the short tracks or the flat tracks?
I'll race anything, short, medium, long, super speedways, road courses. I mean, I enjoy it all, and I think I can hold my own pretty much at any track, except for like maybe Bristol. I'm not really a winning car or a top 5 car at Bristol a lot of the time.
So there is a few tracks out there that have some kryptonite for you, because I've raced with you in a few different scenarios in some of the mega marathon races, and if you're out there, you are hard to beat. So I just have to make sure that if we ever do any more mega marathons, we're just going to have to put some Bristol in there, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully Jeffrey Elliott or someone runs those big 3-4 hour races again. Those are fun over at Talladega Nights and PRL. You and Blaine are definitely familiar with those places. Some of the other guys here might not be, but yeah, I'll race anything. I mean, I just don't want to get wrecked. I just want to run up front, have a chance at the win, not get wrecked, and see what happens. Tonight was a little disappointing. I would have liked to have won, but I'll take second place.
Now, are you planning on running the full season, trying to go for the points championship here?
No, I'm just part-time here in NR. I don't race every night anymore. I race maybe 1 or 2 nights a week these days.
Oh, come on. I used to do it. I used to race 6 nights a week and twice on Thursday. So, yeah, I've cut back. Oh, yeah, I've cut back myself big time, but I understand that.
Oh, so did I. Back in the good old days of NR, I used to sit there for 8-10 hours at a time racing open speedway with all kinds of people. It's just, I play other games, and, this game is 23 years old, but I mean, it's still fun, still holds its own against pretty much any other racing simulator. I just don't have the interest to play this game race every night anymore.
Yeah, I understand that. I go through spurts where I race for a little bit, and then I go through spurts where maybe only 1 night a week, or I take a few weeks off just to relax from it.
Yeah, the number one thing that gets me out is just car counts. As long as it's a good league, well administrated, and as long as there's at least probably 20 cars, I mean, I'll definitely consider racing. And here, it's a full field almost every week, so it's very attractive to come race here to me, and I'm sure a lot of other drivers. Hey Blaine, I haven't heard you. How are you doing?
Oh, not bad. Yeah, I'm always behind the scenes. Rod can always cover me. I'm saving replays, getting exports ready, changing screens and stuff. But yeah, man, it was a fantastic race. Like watching you, the battle there at the end. I mean, we try, like you were saying with the car count, we try to get around the whole field. But when it comes down to those last 20, 30 laps, we just sort of stick up front. And we were watching you get a little bit pinned in on pit road there and thought it was going to cost you more space, but I guess you only lost a couple spots, which was kind of nice.
Yeah, it was enough to cost me those couple spots, and like I said, once you're behind someone, whether it's Cup physics or CTS physics, it definitely gets noticeably tighter, and it just it wouldn't turn as well. I did let them, on that final run early, I did let them go ahead a little bit because I was trying to save tires to see, maybe if we could get a green run to the end, but it just didn't happen. Track position is king. You guys know that. Rod, you race in real life.
Yeah, and I was telling you what he was doing, Blaine. I said, you watch him, they're pulling away from him. He's saving tires to hopefully be able to make a run at him at the end. But unfortunately, just the way the cautions fell near the end of it, it didn't quite work out.
Yeah, you got it. That's what I was trying to do. It just didn't work out.
Well, Alex, I appreciate you, finishing second and racing here tonight. I always like watching you race. I'll give you the floor. Thank you, people that you thank to get you here. Whatever you want to thank, the floor is yours, bud.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys, Blaine and Rod, for covering every race here at this league this season. I'm sure that's a pretty lucrative contract for you guys to cover every race. I'd like to thank Ben and Keith Hughes for adminning the league, Lowe's, Chevrolet, my grandpa, all my friends, and all the people out there who tune into these races sometimes. Hope we put on a good show. Thanks for covering the broadcast, guys. I'm going to have a beer and watch it later tonight.
All right. Well, congratulations, Alex. That was Alex Moe, your second place finisher for tonight. We're going to get up there and see if we can top the leader. Good job.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Alex. And there's Jack Merkel. His mic's on now.
Yeah. Did you hear his impression of you, Jack?
Yeah, it was. I heard it. It was pretty on point. It sounded just like me.
Okay. We figured we'd try to pull you up here, but you was just not in a talking mood. You were busy racing. Second win in a row.
Yeah.
That put you in the point. Does that put him in the points lead, or was he already there?
Does not. I'm still 6 behind Keith.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Keith had a big lead there. And then Keith finished pretty good tonight, too, right? He was up...
in the top 10.
He ended up 4th.
He was 4th. So, yeah, if Keith would have finished, a little bit worse than 4th tonight, he would have definitely had him, but...
Yeah, it was a good race. You were up front most of the night. I don't have that information in front of me again. Of course, I shut that off, but...
What do you need? Laps led?
Laps led. I think
44.
44 laps led tonight. Not quite the most, but that was pretty darn close. That'll help you in the points a little bit. I don't think Keith got out there and led a lap tonight. Did he? He might have.
He did get one. Yeah.
Get one. All right, so that didn't help you out.
No, it wasn't too bad. I honestly, after the first time I got spun, I kind of figured, okay, I can crawl my way back. We can see what's going to happen. And then after I got spun the second time, the backing was pretty crunched up, and I figured it was just going to be a ride around, try to get some kind of points kind of day, and just had a lot of stuff go my way. Got caught up behind a couple wrecks, couple cautions go my way, and ended up getting out there in front of. I knew if I could get maybe in front of them, I could hold them off, but it was definitely going to be stressful, and it was.
And sometimes, though, when you get the back of the car damaged, it actually loosens it up in some scenarios, some tracks. When it does that, it actually helps you out. If you're a driver that would prefer a car a little bit more on the looser side than the tight side. So that might have helped you out a little bit, especially at the end there.
Oh, for sure. I definitely feel like it may have. It seemed like they fixed it all the way to where it didn't seem like it was much of an issue. But it definitely, as the race went on, I definitely felt like I understood the car more and could definitely drive it better than how I was at the start of the race, for sure.
And it's hard for any league that runs a fixed setup league to be able to make a setup that every driver can run if they built a setup like for my style of driving, some of the guys that can't drive a loose race car would never be able to drive it. I like to have the rear of the car hanging out. It's just my style. Some people like to have them a little tighter. So when you get a situation like that where it actually loosens you up, if you can drive a looser car, it becomes a very good advantage.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the track if I want it to be a little bit tighter or a little bit looser. I already don't really like Richmond. It feels like, like a bad thing to say after winning, but I really don't. And I think it being a little bit tighter helped a lot. So I'm not too sure, honestly.
One of my second favorite tracks is Richmond. I like the flat track. So, but I think it doesn't matter. You got the W. You had a great race. You didn't stay out of 100% of the trouble. Hard to do sometimes when there's many of these cars that are out there when something happens in front of you. But Wayne, you got anything you'd like to ask?
Well, I was going to say too, the race for the amount of laps led. I think this is the first time I've ever seen it that close, where you've got, what is it? Jack's got 44, Alex has got 46, and Anthony had 39. Like, you guys, it was almost a race within the race, just going for who was going to lead the most laps in this thing.
Yeah, it definitely felt like there were certain points where each one of us would just be the better car and just could run them down. I think if it had stayed, that last caution we got with like 30 something to go, I think it would have been interesting, because I was only a couple short on fuel. I was a little bit closer than everybody else, and I knew Anthony was about to pass the 48, so it was going to be interesting to see if I just tried to maybe stay pit with them, or I was about to start clutching and saving up fuel and see if I could just make it to the end without having to pit again. That's why I pitted that one time with like 60 something to go, to try and get it to the end close enough on fuel that I could just save and make it.
Right, and then in a situation where there might have been a yellow, you wouldn't have had to gone in there. Because like Alex was committed, but we watched on a replay, he made it around that cone at the last second by a hair to stay out, which obviously paid off. He ended up in second. Were you thinking at all of going down pits from the front row like that, or you were just going to stay out no matter what?
I thought about it, but I kind of, as we came across to take the check or the caution flag, I kind of looked to see what my lap times were, and there was only about 1.5, 2/10 off of my fastest lap of the race. So my thought was, if I pit, I lose a bunch of track position, and I'm maybe 2/10 faster, I could just stay out and run the same speed, hope a couple people stay out behind me and hold them up, and I could just hold them off. Thankfully, the top 7 stayed out. I didn't have to worry about it, but it was definitely a thought that crossed my mind as we were coming down the backstretch, coming to the open pits.
Yeah, it says Keith Hughes was the first car on 4 tires, and he restarted in I think it was the 7th position.
I think he said 7 or 8. Yeah,
able to make it up to 4th. Like I said, the cautions, if it had gone green, that could have changed a little bit, but yeah. So I mean, it was the right call to make, to stay out, and you got the W. So
yeah, definitely feel like I stole one there. I don't think I should have won that race, but I will take it.
Absolutely, I'd take anyone.
Great run, man. Like, yeah, it was phenomenal, especially the last 20 or 30 laps. Like we were saying to Alex, we didn't take the broadcast away from the front, 1 to 6, 7, 8 positions. It was just great racing going on from all you guys. It was an excellent show.
Oh, it was very fun, especially when you had to miss all the wrecks that were happening too.
Yeah.
Crash avoidance, they call it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a skill. Some guys will drive right into every single one of them. Other guys will get around, get through somehow, and I'm pretty good at getting through them sometimes.
I try my best, but when I'm the cause of it, like it was twice tonight, there's not much I can do about it.
Yeah. Well, Jack, congratulations on your 2nd win in a row, and hopefully that'll get you back up there closer in the points. Where we at next week was Dover. Are you good at Dover?
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I am very good at Dover.
Cool.
Okay. Well, that might give you an advantage.
This is where I actually get taken out early on, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But I like Dover. It's, nothing like going to the top of a 3rd-story building and then dropping off from it to the bottom of the 3rd-story building in the corner.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Well, hey, good job. Congratulations on your 2nd win. floor is yours. Thank the people that get you here.
I just want to thank Fortnite Squad Racing for giving me a good 24 card. I didn't hunger jumping on for this one race. Got another with them, I think, later on in the season. Glad I could do what Jeff Gordon couldn't do in 2013 and win this race. Maybe thought some bad. I thought I'd have maybe some bad juju running this scheme, but I guess I kind of played that off last week when I wanted the Nicorette car at Vegas. So just thanks to them, and thanks for everybody running me clean, and a couple people not wrecking me, but you know, good and all, and I won the race, and on the next week.
Awesome. Thanks, Jack. Have a good night, man. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
So here's an interesting observation.
Okay.
He said that he caused 2 of those wrecks, so he's a 2 in park, right? He lost that.
Could be.
he just said that. I'm like, wait, you can't. It's 2 in park. You're done, bud. But that's why I say these results you're looking at on your screen right now, according to the text at the top, unofficial results. And yeah, he said he got into a few accidents there, and 2 of them were his fault. So I was like, I don't know if you should have said that in an interview, in a post-race interview there, Jack. I guess we'll see what race administration has to say about that one. Yeah.
Do want to give a shout out though. Austin the Plant was able to make his way back up to the 5th place position. Yeah. I noticed that after the race there, so that was pretty cool. He'd been running kind of the top 10 off and on all night. One of the later situations there, he was on older tires, kind of went back, but he was one of the guys with Keith and Josh Mercurio that's pitted. And he didn't get involved in the incidents and made his way back up to 5th, so that's a good job for him.
Well, even some of the guys we were talking about at the start of the race, like Jorge Pachon, I hope I'm saying that right, 10th place finish tonight. You know, like some new names. You got Rick Johnson, sounds familiar. He was in 6th. Fran Gomez up there in 7th. Like, you know, there's some names up there that we don't recognize from weeks prior that are up in that top 10. So, you know, like in the YouTube chat, they were asking, you know, hey, does Maverick allow, you know, new signups? And they're always allow new signups. They'll never shut it down. The drivers are what they want. And if you want to come out here and do this and you're any good at it, you'd be a perfect fit. So yeah, don't hesitate to go in the descriptable of this video and click on Maverick's Facebook page and get a hold of Benjamin Schneider.
The big thing that you have to remember, though.
Yes.
Okay? Yes. One of the things you got to remember is you're going to have to qualify to get in. So, yes, if you're new to it and you want to come to a place to race, yep, that's a great place to start. Come in and race. But you're going to have to practice a little bit. You're going to have to get up on the wheel, and you're going to have to qualify to get in. Most of the weeks, this week was one of the weeks, there was only 38 drivers. Normally there's, Daytona, we had over 70 drivers show up. The following week, it was somewhere in the mid-60s. So, you know, you're going to have to get up on the wheel to get into the show.
And sometimes there's a reason, like the High Voltage Racing League, they have the Maverick Cup Series. They also have the West Series, which has a lower driver count. They may ask you to run in that series first before they get you into the Cup, what you watched tonight, because these broadcast races, they kind of want guys who've had some more track time, I would think. If you're new to the game, you're new to the sim, you're new to the community, they might want you to prove that you can actually drive and head to the pits at the last second and not wipe out half the field and all that kind of stuff. So there might be a vetting process, but it's always worth getting in there and seeing what they can do for you.
They don't have that here in Maverick. You can come in, if you can qualify, you're in the show.
Oh, is that it? You run, if you want to run the Cup race, you come on in there, hit a time, and you're in.
If you can do it, you gotta, you know, sign up with the league and whatnot, and then you work it out, and then you come in, and if you're fast enough to get in there, you're going to make the show.
Nice.
Other leagues, like you said, they do have criteria. Some of the leagues I've started with, they want to know how many years of online racing you have, or different stuff like that. And that's the leagues that they're not looking to find somebody that's going to come in there and take the field out on the first lap. They want guys that are going to be racing clean and enjoying it and having fun.
Yeah, like when I joined Rolling Thunder, it was the same thing. I hadn't raced online in a while, like at all, really. And they're like, yeah, like you can definitely come in and race, but, you know, they have to see that you have like a racing sense about your thought process too, right? Like I'm not going to go out there and start wrecking guys. I just want to start the race and then kind of sit in the back and just watch. Don't draw attention to yourself. I mean, unless you can go out there and win. But I was more worried about causing an issue and being the new guy. Like, well, who's this guy? But if you just kind of show them that you've got a good racing sense, sometimes that's all you need. Just don't do dumb stuff, pretty much. Be smart about it.
Some leagues like that, like Rolling Thunder, they have a penalty system. If you were caught, they feel the accident was your fault, you'll get a penalty. And if you cause another one, you'll get a penalty where you have to park it. But if you race the next week and you're clean, you may lose that penalty. Not all the leagues do that. There are some that do that out there. But that's just to make their leagues better. They try to keep the better drivers in there and, the ones that are going to cause issues out of there. So I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah, currently on screen, they're scrolling right now. Those are the official results after 2 races. So this is race number 3. So these points will change. And hopefully you guys will come back and watch next week when we go to the Monster Mile at Dover. That'll, of course, be the 15th of April. Same time, same channel, really. 8:15 Eastern Standard Time is when these broadcasts go live here at Tarnation TV in the Maverick Cup Series. And upcoming races.
This Saturday,
the ALS Awareness. It's a benefit. You can donate if you watch that one. We've got a lot of drivers in that race with cars that have been purchased. Every single penny that is generated into the car paints and the different sponsors for the different parts of the broadcast all gets donated directly to the ALS Association. And we've done that 3 years. This will be the 3rd year we're doing it. Every year we do it, we generate more money. So it'll be a lot of fun if you want to watch that one. That goes off pretty early on Saturday. I believe we're going live around 6 p.m. And it'll be myself, Rod, and Seth Cole running the show. Should be a lot of fun. Kelly Causey is the reason that happens every year in honor of his friend Joey St. Amant, also known as Elmo. And there's the season schedule for the Maverick Cup Series. As you can see, we got Dover coming up. We got some Talladega, Sonoma, Kansas, and Worldwide Technology Raceway, and then Charlotte. That takes us to the end of May. And then the rest of those races, we'll worry about them when we get there. And don't forget April 27th, Sunday, April 27th, the memorial race for Cannon Blake Kinnan and gun violence. That one's, of course, run by and organized by Brian Wolf over at ASR. So I think that's all we got to say tonight, isn't it, Rod? Am I forgetting anything?
I think we're good, bud.
Cool.
Come see us and listen to the consummate professional Seth Cole. Love working with that guy.
Yeah,
Seth's
fantastic. He knows a lot of these drivers. He's done this for a lot of years. Many years. He's been a broadcaster at Flat Out Racing Network. So for him to join us on Sunday will be super cool. I'll be able to sit behind the scenes and let you guys do all the talking, maybe. And
maybe.
We'll see what happens. Sometimes I can't be quiet. But thanks for watching this evening. Always a lot of fun doing this with you, buddy. And if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.